Title: Racist Karen tells me to leave my backyard because she wants to barbecue for her family on my grill. It was supposed to be a peaceful Saturday afternoon. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the smell of marinated ribs filled the air. I had just finished cleaning the backyard, my little slice of heaven that I'd spent years perfecting. New patio furniture, a handmade wooden deck, fairy lights, and of course my pride and joy, a custom-built stainless steel grill. I'd saved up for months to buy it, and every time I used it, it reminded me of how far I'd come. My name's Marcus. I'm a single dad, raising my 10-year-old daughter Zoe. We just moved into this neighborhood 6 months ago, a quiet upscale suburb where everyone seemed friendly until that day. I was brushing sauce on the ribs when I heard the sound of the gate creaking open. It startled me because I knew I'd locked it. Before I could turn around, a sharp, annoyed voice cut through the air. "Excuse me, what do you think you're doing?" I turned around to see a middle-aged woman, maybe in her late 40s, standing there with sunglasses on her head and an expression that could sour milk. She was holding a grocery bag filled with barbecue supplies, buns, soda, and a packet of hot dogs. I'm cooking," I said, confused. She frowned like I'd just said something offensive. "Well, you'll have to move. My family's coming over in about an hour, and I need to use the grill." I blinked, genuinely thinking I'd misheard her. "Your grill?" "This is my backyard," she scoffed, stepping further inside, as if I'd just made a joke. "Don't be ridiculous. I've lived on this street for 12 years. This has always been the community's space. You can't just take over like you own everything." I took a deep breath. "Ma'am, I do own this property. The fence, the patio, the grill, all of it. You can't just walk in here." Her face twisted in irritation. "Don't get smart with me. I know how you people are." Those 3 words, "you people," hit me like a slap. My stomach tightened. Zoe, who had been sitting on the porch sipping lemonade, looked up, confused. "Daddy, who is she?" Karen's eyes darted to my daughter, and she said, "Sweetie, don't worry. Mommy's just going to make sure your daddy doesn't cause trouble in the neighborhood." That was it. I felt my blood boil, but I stayed calm. "Ma'am, I'm asking you to leave." Now instead, she pulled out her phone. "You're threatening me?" "That's it, I'm calling the police." I sighed. I'd seen stories like this online, but never imagined I'd live one. She started ranting into her phone, exaggerating every word. "Yes, there's a large, aggressive man in my backyard. I think he's trespassing. Please hurry. I recorded everything on my phone, just in case." Zoe was frightened, clutching my leg. "Daddy, are you going to get in trouble?" I knelt beside her. "No, baby. We didn't do anything wrong." 10 minutes later, the police arrived. 2 officers, one older, one younger. I greeted them calmly. "Officers, I'm the homeowner. I have my ID, property papers, and I have this woman on video trespassing." Karen immediately jumped in, waving her hands. "Don't believe him. He doesn't live here. He just moved in a few months ago. He's lying." The older officer looked at me. "Sir, do you have proof of residence?" "Of course." I handed over my ID and deed copy. The younger officer checked them, nodded, and whispered something to his partner. Then came the best moment. The look on Karen's face when the officer turned to her and said, "Ma'am, this man is the legal owner of the property." "You're trespassing." Her jaw dropped. "What? That can't be right. He, he's not. I mean, look at him." The officer's tone hardened. "Ma'am, I suggest you leave now before you're charged with harassment." She sputtered, grabbed her grocery bag, and stormed out, yelling over her shoulder, "This neighborhood used to be decent before people like you moved in." When the gate closed behind her, I finally let out the breath I'd been holding. Zoe ran into my arms, and I just held her close. One of the officers stayed back a moment. "Sorry about that, sir. We've had a few calls about her before. You did the right thing." Staying calm. After they left, I sat on the patio with Zoe. She looked up and asked, "Why was that lady so mean to us?" I swallowed hard. Some people don't understand that everyone deserves respect, no matter what they look like. But that's why we stay kind, even when others aren't. Zoe nodded. Can we still eat the ribs? I smiled. You bet we can. That evening, as we ate under the fairy lights, I looked around my backyard, my home, and felt a deep sense of pride. Not just because I'd stood my ground, but because I'd shown my daughter that dignity doesn't come from how loud you yell or how much power you have. It comes from how you handle the storm. A few days later, I got a letter from the HOA. Apparently, Karen had tried to file a complaint saying I intimidated her. But thanks to the police report and video, the HOA not only dismissed her claim, they fined her for trespassing on private property. When I saw her again at the grocery store weeks later, she couldn't meet my eyes. I didn't need an apology. The victory wasn't in making her pay. It was in knowing I didn't let hate define me or my home. Because sometimes the best way to fight ignorance is by living proudly, peacefully, and refusing to give up your space, no matter who tries to take it. And as the smell of barbecue filled the air again the next weekend, I smiled. Not just because of the food, but because freedom never tasted so good.